September, dead by October. When I watch Dak, I'm no longer angry or disappointed. If you go look at him after his rookie start when nobody had any video on him, he's a little above 500,
right.
Completes about 62%, which is average considering the time now, has 17 picks. He has a mid-80s quarterback rating. That's with Zeke. That's with stability. That's with a better-than-average offensive line. What do you – I just see an average quarterback.
You know, when you look at, you know, his rookie year was really good. He struggled last year. To me, I think you start evaluating players in their third year. This is his third year. He is who he is. I enjoyed watching him play last night because I think he even realized who he is. He's going to get the first read. He's going to look at the second read.
And then he's out.
And then he's done.
That's right.
Get out of there.
He's done.
That's who he is, but that's okay because they can win that way. As long as you give Ezekiel Elliott the football at least 25 to 30 touches through carries or catches, he has to touch the football. If they can do that, because the defense is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. They really are. So him being average, they can win that way because the defense can carry this football team. Dak, I just don't think he needs to be embarrassed about it. He's not going to be a guy that sits back there and have 300-yard games.
That's not who he is.
That's not who he is.
He's had 3 in his career in a passing era.
And they don't need it for them to win. So as long as he takes care of the football and he can make some great plays scrambling and throwing the ball to his playmakers in space, which he doesn't have that many playmakers in space, but the guys he does have, as long as he gets them the football, they're going to be fine.
I thought that was at his best. A lot of Cole Beasley, a little bit of scrambling, a lot of Zeke, and that's what they do. And I thought last night was like, that's what Dak at his best is. Oh, he runs about a dozen times.
Yes.
He has a good running game. He has a good slot, dependable slot receiver, high percentage underneath throws. Yep. By the way, Brady makes a living off Julian Edelman. There's nothing wrong with a great slot wide receiver. That's the world we live in. So everybody's complaining that you can't hit anybody in football. But I would argue this, is that I love great football players. I want Rod Woodson to play forever. The fact that we now force big, violent defensive players to be more thoughtful and mindful, I watched that game last night. Yeah. None of the stars got hurt. By the way, still great defensive plays, still a pass rush. I mean, it's not like football players defensively have always been offense is choreography, defense is blow stuff up.
Right.
We're just now asking defensive players, oh, you have to be strategic too. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you know, it's tougher to play in today's game than when I played because I was a physical player.
Yeah.
I wanted to pick up guys, slam them. I want to hit guys as hard as I can. You have to be careful. But the key is you can't let the flags being thrown dictate to you as a player how you're going to play. And Speaks, who had Tom Brady in his hands and then let him go and then he scored, he will remember that forever, and he will always bring down a quarterback nowadays.
Right.
For the rest of his career, however long he plays, every time he hits a quarterback, he's not going to let him go. He's going to tackle the quarterback and bring him to the ground. The hardest thing is when you watch guys play is like, you know, where do you understand there's a strike zone. So when you're teaching your DBs or your linebackers to hit people, hit ball carriers, there's a strike zone. You can't hit them too high. You can hit them as low as you want to. But what you're seeing today is tackling is terrible right now in the National Football League.
Right.
It is absolutely awful. I mean, guys are going to their knees. They're tackling ankles. Hit them in the numbers. Hit them in the numbers. We used to teach the rugby-style tackling, so heads behind the ball. So if you both put your head down, there's no head collision. So you're not going to have any penalties. That's what we taught in Oakland. And, you know, I think has to be a way where you still can be physical, but you can't be too physical because if it's a violent hit, they're going to throw the flag. They're going to throw the flag and say it's head-to-head contact.
But by the way, you watched last night. You enjoyed last night. What did you make of that? You know, I said this to start the show. If you've been on a turbulent flight, I'm sure many times in your life.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're sitting, doesn't matter if you're first class or the last seat in coach. You get a little nervous. You're flying over, you know, Nebraska, and you're getting tossed, and there's lightning. And then when if you ever talk to a pilot, and he's like, oh, that's just what we do. He goes, you're freaking out back there. Right. He's like, I've been hit by lightning 4 times in the cockpit. Is that the 2-minute drill in most of your career, there was chaos at the end of it. To watch the precision and the nonchalance last night of Brady, it feels like, Rod, he has mastered it. Like he has. He has completely mastered the position.
there's nothing that he could see from the defensive side that he's never saw before. That's the first thing. Secondly, I think they start the 2-minute drill with 3:03 in the clock, about 3 minutes on the clock, with 3 timeouts. That's the world, especially to Tom Brady. And they ran the football, and I remember they ran it, and it was probably going right before a 2-minute warning.
Yeah,
so
they came out and ran it again.
And ran it again. And then Tom walked off and let 15 seconds run off the clock. But he was around the 35-yard line. That's a lot of time with 3 timeouts for Tom Brady, let alone any other person.
But my entire life, when you're at the 30, your own 30, you are literally get to the line, spike the ball. They were milking the clock. They were staying in bounds.
And I think it would have been different if the game wasn't tied. The game being tied, you just kick a field goal, you win. Now, if they're down by 4, you got to get a touchdown, it would be more hurry up because you got to get down there to have better opportunities.
3 or 4 shots at the end zone.
Absolutely. So being tied made it a little bit easier for Tom Brady. But then watching him just go through the motions, it was so easy for him.
So easy.
And it's because there's nothing that he hasn't seen. He's been in the league for so long. He's gone through so much, so many coordinators. And I'm pretty sure he has a really good idea what coordinators do. And when he saw the matchups.
Well, Bob Sutton, he's gone up against Bob Sutton multiple times.
And I'm telling you what, as soon as the ball was snapped, when he hit Gronk, his eyes went straight to Gronk. And when he was backing out of it, when he saw Gronk, like, get to the outside, his eyes lit up. And he just threw it. I'm like, he's wide open. And that's something that most quarterbacks cannot do. Most quarterbacks can't find the matchups that benefit their offense.
Tom finds it
He sees it just
the
like
ball
that.
is snapped.
And that is terrifying when you can give a guy that good, when he can see everything before the ball snapped.
Yeah, at one point, Andy Reid turned to Bob Sutton and just went, he was just like,
what can you do?
What can we do? They're completely controlling us. Rod Woodson, Hall of Famer, good seeing you. Coming up next, I do think I've come to a conclusion, having watched every team play 4 and 5 times. We're down to about 9 teams I think can win the Super Bowl, and a couple others I just need another week or 2 on. That's coming up next. It's The Herd.